In the pantheon of technological innovation and entrepreneurship, few names are as synonymous with the digital revolution as Steve Jobs. The co-founder of Apple Inc. not only transformed the realm of personal computing, but also redefined consumer electronics with products such as the iPhone, iPad, and iPod. Born on February 24, 1955, Jobs' early life was marked by a significant event. He was adopted. His biological parents, Abdul Fattah Jandali and Joanne Schiebel, were two University of Wisconsin students from contrasting religious backgrounds. They weren't married when Schiebel became pregnant, prompting her to move to California for the birth and subsequently put Jobs up for adoption. She later had another child, a daughter, whom she chose to raise. Jobs' quest for meaning later led him to India in search of spiritual enlightenment, and while he intended to visit the ashram of Neem Karoli, he ended up at the ashram of Haidakhan Babaji due to Neem Karoli's death the previous year. Spending 7 months there, Jobs embraced Zen Buddhism, which profoundly influenced his life and almost led him to become a monk at Eihei-ji in Japan. Education for Jobs was a brief affair. He enrolled at Reed College in 1972, but dropped out after just 1 semester, citing the meaninglessness of the education in relation to the financial burden it placed on his adoptive parents. The year 1976 marked a pivotal moment in Jobs' life and the world of technology when he, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne founded Apple Computer Company. Jobs' parents' garage on Chris Drive became the cradle of this tech empire, and the name Apple was inspired by Jobs' time at the All One Farm commune in Oregon. Jobs' connection to Apple deepened when he named the Apple Lisa computer after his daughter, despite initially denying the personal association and claiming Lisa was an acronym for Local Integrated Systems Architecture. Jobs' personal life was not just about technology. He met his future wife, Laurene Powell, during a lecture he gave at Stanford Graduate School of Business, and they married in 1991 at the Ahwahnee Hotel in Yosemite National Park. Another significant personal connection was established when Jobs met his biological sister, author Mona Simpson, at the age of 27. Jobs also made his mark in the entertainment industry by funding the graphics group, which became Pixar and produced the acclaimed film Toy Story. His involvement with Pixar briefly made him one of Disney's largest shareholders following Disney's acquisition of the company. An impressive tally of over 300 patents bears Jobs' name, showcasing the breadth of his innovation. Inventions ranged from the Mac OS X dock user interface to designs for speakers, staircases, and packaging. Known for his iconic black turtleneck, jeans, and sneakers, Jobs' minimalist wardrobe became a hallmark of his personal style. This simplicity extended to his life choices, even during his battle with a pancreatic tumor diagnosed in 2003. Jobs initially pursued alternative treatments, but the severity of his condition led to a liver transplant in 2009. The year 2007 was a standout for Jobs. He was inducted into the California Hall of Fame, witnessed the release of the first iPhone, and was named the most powerful person in business by Fortune magazine. At the time of his death in 2011, Jobs' net worth was $10.2 billion, largely due to his stock in Disney. Jobs' willingness to share his life story led to the publication of his biography by Walter Isaacson, released just 19 days after his passing. The biography, based on over 40 interviews with Jobs and hundreds with those who knew him, provides an unvarnished look at the man who never read the book himself to ensure its candor. Jobs' life and legacy are commemorated in various ways, including a nearly 7-foot-tall bronze statue in Budapest, Hungary, paying tribute to his impact on technology and his support for Graphisoft, a Hungarian software company during communist rule. The life of Steve Jobs is a testament to the indelible mark one individual can make on the world. From his adoption to his spiritual journey, his dropout from college to the creation of a global tech empire, his story is as multifaceted as the devices Apple continues to create. It is a life that not only shaped the course of technology, but also continues to inspire innovation and creativity across the globe. Transitioning from the broad strokes of Steve Jobs' life to the more intimate details of his formative years, the origins of this iconic figure are as complex as they are compelling. His birth to Abdul Fattah Jandali and Joanne Schiebel, two young university students from disparate religious traditions, set the stage for a life outside conventional norms. The decision made by Schiebel to put Jobs up for adoption in 1955 would cast a long shadow over his personal narrative and motivations. The adoptive parents of Jobs, Paul and Clara Jobs, were the nurturing influences during his early years. They were not the wealthy and educated couple that Schiebel had hoped for, but they promised to provide for Jobs' education, which was a condition of the adoption. This promise, which they dutifully kept, nonetheless led Jobs to Reed College, though his stay was to be short-lived. The impact of his adoption on Jobs' life was profound. He grappled with issues of abandonment and identity, which fueled both his fierce independence and his eventual quest for spiritual fulfillment. It was this search for meaning that drew him to the possibility of monastic life. After traveling to India in 1974, Jobs immersed himself in the practices of Zen Buddhism. The teachings he encountered and the simplicity of the monastic lifestyle left an indelible mark on his ethos and work. Principles of intuition, simplicity, and focus would later become hallmarks of Apple's product design and corporate philosophy. Yet, for all his spiritual exploration, Jobs was not one to remain in contemplation for long. His attendance at Reed College was curtailed as he saw little value in the formal education he was receiving, especially in light of the financial burden it placed on his parents. Dropping out after just one semester did not spell the end of his education. Rather, it was the beginning of an autodidactic journey. He continued to audit classes that piqued his interest, such as calligraphy, which would famously inform the design of the Macintosh computer's typography. The fusion of his spiritual journey with his innate curiosity about electronics set the stage for what was to come. Jobs' experiences in India, coupled with his exposure to the burgeoning tech scene in Silicon Valley, fortified his resolve to make a meaningful impact on the world. The seeds of innovation that would grow into Apple were planted during this time, watered by the countercultural ethos of the period and fertilized by a unique blend of spiritual awareness and technological prowess. Thus, it was in this crucible of early experiences, adoption, spiritual inquiry, a brief collegiate stint, and a transformative journey to India that Steve Jobs was forged. These disparate threads wove together to create the fabric of a life that would not only redefine personal computing, but also leave an indelible mark on the digital landscape. In the landscape of American innovation, the year 1976 is notable for the inception of a company that would come to symbolize ingenuity and success, Apple Inc. The partnership between Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, two friends with a passion for technology and a vision for the future of computing, catalyzed a revolution that began in the Jobs family garage. Steve Wozniak, an electronics whiz, had designed what would become the Apple I. Jobs, with his keen eye for potential, saw the opportunity to sell this computer to a wider audience. Together, they founded Apple Computer Company on April 1, 1976, with the assistance of Ronald Wayne. This partnership would not only launch a business, but also set in motion a cultural shift toward personal computing. The Apple I was significant, not just as a product, but as a statement of accessibility and user-friendliness in technology. It was a fully assembled circuit board, a novelty at the time when other computers came as kits. This decision reflected Jobs' burgeoning philosophy that technology should be both approachable and aesthetically pleasing. The name Apple was a tribute to the simple pleasures that Jobs found during his time in an Oregon apple orchard, a nod to the natural and straightforward approach he wanted the company to embody. This connection to nature and an inclination towards simplicity would permeate the company's identity and product design for decades to come. Jobs' personal life during this period was as dynamic as his professional endeavors. The Apple Lisa, a computer that Jobs worked on, bore the name of his first child, Lisa Brennan Jobs. Although he initially denied the connection, claiming that Lisa was an acronym for Local Integrated Systems Architecture, he would later acknowledge that the computer was indeed named after his daughter. On a more personal front, Jobs' relationship with Laurene Powell began serendipitously as she attended one of his lectures at the Stanford Graduate School of Business. Their connection was instantaneous, leading to a marriage that would last until his passing. Together, They built a family and a life that, though fiercely private, provided Jobs with a stable foundation away from the relentless pace of Silicon Valley. Additionally, at the age of 27, Jobs embarked on a quest that would fill a missing piece of his identity, the search for his biological family. This journey culminated in a reunion with his biological sister, Mona Simpson, an accomplished author. The relationship they developed added a new depth to Jobs' understanding of his heritage and himself. The early years of Apple were marked by these personal and professional milestones. The garage startup with the simple and evocative name would grow to become a global tech empire, and Steve Jobs, the adopted child who sought enlightenment and dropped out of college, would become synonymous with the very idea of innovation. The birth of Apple Inc. was not just the launch of a company, it was the beginning of a legacy that would forever change the way people interact with technology.